Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
Welcome, folks, to the Oregon Voters Digest today. Boy, what a new look we have. We got progression in the air. And boy, when I picked up the latest Willamette Week, I had the right stuff. Boy, by George, this is a very interesting piece. The right stuff. And I said to myself, the new Willamette Week, and we were right in the midst of a campaign, major campaign aspect of it. And after we were looking around. I got John Sweeney here with you. You've seen John. John is one of my co-hosts now. He's co-hosting here right now with me, and I'll tell you a little bit more about John. He's got some things that he might want to announce today. That's good. But the bottom line is that this right stuff piece. This is a very interesting piece. You notice I didn't give you the regular Willamette Week front page aspect of it, but this is it. The right stuff. New and improved endorsements for May 2024. What a change! What a change! I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, when I looked at the whole issue of the change aspect of it, I also was looking at the other little pieces that were their other statemets. I thought I had it with me on that, but maybe I didn't have it. I thought I did have it. It was kind of like, who was the new publisher? Did you see that?
No, huh?
Oh yeah, did you see the new publisher of this particular program? Well, it's not the usual.
Jacks or something like that.
No. It's gee, this is ridiculous. But anyway, hey, this is the Oregon Voters Digest. This is community television, and we're just going to take our time and do it right, okay? But I'm really excited about this deal. But it's my understanding it's either his daughter or a relative is the new publisher of the Willamette Week. How about that?
So the deal is they sell out?
No. It's solid as a rock. The publisher just happened to, the gentleman we're talking about right now. Well, you know, his wife at one point in time was they're owners, but at one point in time was the secretary, attorney general. Right?
Yeah, she's the attorney general now, and she's not running for re-election.
She's not running for re-election. Well, naturally, what's his name? Come on, what's his name?
Yeah.
Well, you can tell we're right up to date on all this stuff. But I'm just so excited about this new way of them handling the campaigns now, and then the candidates.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful deal. And then I all of a sudden, to my surprise, I'm looking at all kinds of things, looking for candidates and this, that, and the other, and it pops this up. And at the same time, it's on YouTube. I mean, beforehand, Willamette Week used to do the interviews, basically, in the office space there at Willamette Week, but it was all private. They would not share that information, meaning that they'd video those interviews, but they wouldn't share them at all.
Yeah.
Well, this time around, it's all public. They made them public, just like this particular piece. I wonder if it's that new person sitting in the publisher's seat. But
it's a good idea.
It's a real good idea. It's a real good idea. The only thing that I thought and they threw that out there, they didn't show the people who were asking the questions.
Yeah.
They didn't show the reporters or whatever, but actually I knew most of them. They were talking on the background aspect of it. But it's a beautiful idea the way they did this piece, and there was a discussion among the candidates and the like, and it was really a good one. So I just want to thank and commend them at the Willamette Week. Thank you very much. You did a great job. Yeah, it might be something I might be interested in running now since they do it that way.
It could be better now, because I remember when I run against Earl Blumenauer, and the thing is, it was going to be an hour introduction, so I get my 10 minutes, and Earl Blumenauer would blab away for 50 minutes.
Exactly.
And he had a friend that went to high school with him, and they called him Earl Blumenauer in high school.
Well, that was an interesting commentary.
Now, one of the things, publications, I haven't seen it yet this time, is the one put out by the League of Women Voters. And one thing I like about that is the fact that they ask a question to the candidates for an office, and you have all the candidates answering the same question. And usually they have a wider view on it. You know, it's one of the fellows was running for state treasurer one time against a Democrat. And the thing at that time for the press is they were pushing education, and the guy says, well, now we're not running for the superintendent of public instruction, we're running for state treasurer. How about asking some money questions? It wasn't real quick that this fellow that won the election, Edwards, he didn't know anything about finance. You know, this Republican I know he really knew finance, and when it was over, and a Democrat left, the moderator says, I don't think that guy could balance his own checkbook.
Interesting. Well, hey, let's get down. Let's go on with the show now. We're going to go on and get this thing started. And right up front, we're going to use this as a reference piece because it's the only thing out right now. I'm sure the Oregonian has done some things, but they're going to have to come out with another piece.
Well, they said it was going to be in the Friday and Saturday paper, and it was not in the Friday paper, and it wasn't the Saturday paper because I got up extra early this morning to look through, and I checked every page. No, so.
And what about the Tribune? Did they come out yet?
They would be out Thursday, and I haven't been able to get a copy.
Okay, this past Thursday?
Yeah, I'm quite sure it's come out. They're pretty well on the top of it.
Okay.
I probably have to go.
Well, we'll be talking a little bit more about this, but this is a good start. This is a good start. The Lamb League does an excellent job. They did an excellent job. I got to give them kudos in there. You know what I'm saying? That was a real good. That was a good piece. That was a good piece.
So lots of information on the candidates, and some more on some than on others. But this is pretty detailed.
Right.
And of course, with some of them, the deal is I look at it is I know who not to vote for now.
Well, anyway, Rosenbaum. I'm talking about Rosenbaum. I've not seen him. You know, as long as I've been doing this piece here, the Voters Digest piece, we've never had a cup of coffee, he and I.
Huh.
I've called him on a number of occasions, but he never basically called. Well, I think we might have seen one another once when I went up there when I was running for office, and he was driving away, but he had some other thing. But anyway, the last time I ran for county chair at that one point in time, and he was there with a group of everybody, and he had all the ladies, and they only talked to the ladies. They would not give me the opportunity to debate with them. I think
but you're like a bulldog, you got to bite onto it.
Well, they got to talk about the issues. I mean, we're looking for leadership, and now where we are today, looking exactly for that, the leadership. But anyway, let's get back down to where we're going to be going today. Again, folks, what we're going to do, we're going to spend our time, if you will, talking about what's current today, the big day for our area in regards to the city of Portland with the new government, whatever. That's a whole new situation, and that we're going to get into that discussion at another cycle aspect of it. But right now, the county and the statewide, whatever, we're going to go through. That's why we're going to use this. I mean, the format is beautiful. So I would say pick up your copy because it has some good information in there, and it's a good reference, if you will. However, there were some folks that were left out that I thought would have been in there also too, because they did talk about them within the copy, other folks who were running. But that's why I say it's a good reference piece.
Right, because this thing looks so good, and you can compare it with the voters' pamphlet, and you can see their spiel, and the deal is that Willamette Week is somewhat neutral on it, and more informative.
Exactly. Well, let's jump right into the, and then we've got the voters pamphlet. I hopefully everybody's got this. I hope you got your voters pamphlet with you. That's another good reference point that you can go to because they've got everybody who's running. Well, I think with a few exceptions.
There's a few did not submit.
They didn't have the bucks. They didn't have. I guess they didn't have the dollars or whatever.
Well, some of them that are don't have a primary opponent, they didn't put it in, and then some of them put it in as kind of a lead in.
Right. But anyway, this is another good reference point, by the way. You know what I'm saying? And if you're running for the first time, you may want to really look at that, and maybe you can do a little copycat, you know, because it gives you kind of an idea of what to expect, if you will. And these folks have been running, they're pros in many ways. Yeah. And you can use them as a reference. Let's put it that way. But it's a good reference point that you can use. The voters pamphlet, and the ballots have been mailed out. And so please, when you see this piece, our piece, if you're on Comcast, you got that piece. But if you're not, You can get on your regular phone, your own newspaper and TV piece right here. Got me? And you can go to YouTube. You can do it on YouTube, and so a lot of the candidates will be on there. And then you just go to YouTube, and you can get all of these references that we're talking about here too at the same time. And so anyway, the control room is going to be we're going to try to put this thing on today with you, so it will be there Sunday for you. And folks who want to check in on YouTube, you can do that. I check Sunday, or if not Monday. Otherwise Monday. Okay. So on that particular note, let's just get right on in the races. Let's say for the congressional area, in the congressional areas, okay? All right. John, we've got for the 1st Congressional District, that'll be Suzanne Bonamici, and then you've got the 3rd Congressional District, Maxine Dexter. Well, Suzanne, let's see, you got the Democrats. I guess there are no Republicans running in that race at all, right?
Yeah. So now the
But this is basically the primary now.
this is the primary.
This is the
right.
primary. So we're looking for Democrats and Republicans. Those are the two major components, right?
Right.
Basically. Okay. So but we got Democrats here. Suzanne Bonamici, who's running. She's in 1st Congressional District. You know, she's pretty solid. I think she's pretty solid in terms of where she's at. Yeah. So we'll just say we'll just go on skip her. But then Maxine Dexter is an interesting one. She's a Democrat, Maxine Dexter. And if you've been looking at TV of late, there's a lot of advertisement there between her and Shashila DePaul. Shashila, and Shashila is also running in the 3rd Congressional District. Okay.
Yeah, you want to discuss that?
Let's do that
312?
now. Yeah, we can talk about two, but then those two people that are running, Maxine Dexter and Shashila, right? Yeah, and I might add too that, you know, in all due respect, I've called Shashila, man, I knew her because she's a commissioner. She's a Multnomah County Commissioner, District Number 2, which is the largest district here within Multnomah County, and she's been spending quite a bit of time in the announcement. She's announced earlier, way back when,
Right.
and she also basically was instrumental in finding someone to replace her. She spent quite a bit of time. Someone sitting in her seat in District Number 2, but she was running again. Like I said, she was running for the third district, right?
Right. There's actually about 7 people running.
Right.
And if you look at the voters pamphlet, there's 2 of them. I believe 2 of them did not file voter pamphlet statements.
Okay.
So in the voters pamphlet,
Okay.
there's 5 of them here.
Okay, good. But like I said, use this as a reference.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, go to this voters pamphlet. This is the Bible, so to speak, right here.
Okay.
Yeah, go there. And
You know what else is important about this?
let's talk about it. What's up?
Well, the deal is, I make a prediction now, see, because I think a lot of these people are running this for testing the waters, because the city council race is going to come up in November only.
All right.
So, and they estimate that they're going to have about 100 people running, and the voters pamphlet in November.
That's
is gonna,
City of Portland now. City of
yeah,
Portland.
it's going to look like a phone book. See,
Easy.
they estimated 100 people. So I bet you want to keep this Willamette Week and any other that you get, and the voters pamphlet,
pamphlet, right?
Because when come the fall, a lot of these people that don't get elected here will be running for the city council in November.
Interesting.
Oh,
Wow.
And they're talking 100, and I bet they'll probably break 75 running, and they're electing the mayor and the auditor and 12 members. But
yeah.
I bet you,
And
they're
100. And by the way, those 12 members, that's 3 councilmen per seat, right? You got me?
Oh yeah,
And $100,000 a clip, right? Salary wise.
yeah,
Salary-wise.
maybe a little
And
more.
maybe a little
About
bit more.
150,000.
About 150,000 with the perks. With the
Oh,
perks. About $150,000 running for those seats. 12 people, right?
And then how many assistants are they going to
And
go?
so one. I'm saying it's only one. You're supposed to have just only one person, see? Because in all due respect, they're not. I mean, as far as the bureau chiefs and whatever, as far as the bureaus, they're not going to be basically assigned bureaus.
No.
Yeah, and in fact, the mayor is going to be sort of like supervising it, but they're going to have a bureau chief. Well, actually, they were saying about a city manager, right?
Yep, city
It's supposed to be a
manager,
city manager, and he's going to have an associate or something. You're going to have an associate, but you're going to be a city manager, and that person is going to basically be talking to the bureaus.
Yeah.
So those city council folks are going to basically be going to him to talk to the various bureaus, right? You got me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still asking, so what is that job? I mean, they're going to be making about 100.5. Well, I tell you what, though, but the good thing about this piece, at least the public, the employers, i.e.
Yeah.
the employers, the voting public, those are the employers, are going to be able to get their phones answered.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to call someone, and they're going to be living in your respective area.
Yeah.
They're going to be living in your, even though they're going to have an office downtown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to be like the round table downtown. You know, you look at these.
Well, they could later on is actually have an auxiliary officer out there in the district, which
Right.
I think is a good thing, because going downtown is really a pain.
Right.
And as
Oh, yeah.
polite
Oh,
as
right,
I can
right,
get
right.
on it,
But
because
John, they can't go downtown. I mean, people are saying, look, they're in the district. We got problems in our respective districts. They're supposed to be. In fact, as far as I was concerned, they should have been housed in that respective district. I mean, they could easily do that through the parks. You've been in the parks before.
yeah.
They could have gotten an office in the park, so to speak. You got
You
me?
bet.
And people would be. It would be more accommodating and whatever, closer to home, if you will, and deal with those issues because they have to organize themselves too. And the key is that what are they supposed to be doing? My point is, they're not going. Like I said, they're not going to have bureaus per se. Got me?
No.
They're going to be representing those communities.
Yeah.
Representing the communities. So they need to be where the communities are, if
Yeah.
you will. So I'm saying, and then naturally when they get to that point where they're making those decisions, once they've talked about this, that, and the other, then they go downtown and do that. Then let them zoom that or put it on YouTube or something like that. But be in there 24/7 in the districts. Talk to it.
or maybe the deal is they could actually have city council meetings out in some of these community centers, so that the fact that people can get there
Well, that's what I'm
and
saying.
look at them eyeball to eyeball.
Yeah, well, that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
Because if they were in their respective district,
Yeah.
and then the other option, as far as them having access to the public, I mean to the employers, if you will, they can have them at their own respective homes. You know, they can have their own, and so that means you can go knock on that door, right? You got me? And
You know, they worked real hard to get rid of the commission form of government, and
Right.
and I was with them for 32 years, 8 months, and we've had good mayors and we had good park commissioners, and when I first started, most of them were left over from the Depression, and they made just about every dollar count.
Right. But anyway, like I said, my mindset was they weren't picking up the phone at this point in time. The former form, but now they're going to have to pick the phone up.
Yeah.
And you've got 3 people to talk to. If so they'll fit whatever. So if there are minorities, if there are more minorities there, whatever, they're going to have someone there. You got me? And the only concern is now is that the elected piece. Here we are talking about this. We've shifted from what we were talking about initially, but the bottom line, this is huge. The new form of government for the city, and since it's the largest district in the state of Oregon, this is really the living room, if you will, of the state of Oregon for anything and everything that's happening. So its impact is going to be major impact on the rest of the state.
Right. Well, and of course, one of the things that's noted in certain circles is the fact that the people leaving Multnomah County and leaving the city of Portland, you know, and unfortunately on that, the people that can leave are the ones with money. And they're the ones that buy gasoline,
Right.
they go to restaurants, and they go to the stores, and, you know, Portland could get to be pretty bad real quick.
Well, for the state, for that matter, you know, a lot of times people tend to recognize the city of Portland as an anchor, if you will, from the standpoint of saying, "This is why I want to go to Oregon. I want to go to Portland, if you will." I mean, and go anywhere else around the state of Oregon, for that matter. So you're right. You're right on that, Pete. Economics is going to be a major factor aspect of it, and so again to the voting public, if you will, right, to the employers. You know, hey, guess what? You're going to have to make sure that you look at the kinds of folks that are running for office to make sure they understand the economics of this particular time going for candidates, and you can get a lot of that information in their voters pamphlets.
Yeah.
in the voters pamphlet. Make sure you check the voters pamphlet. And the point that John is making in regards to the fact, they've got to create some jobs. We got to have some jobs. So we need businesses and whatever. And already the downtown folks are spending quite a bit of time, and the governor is spending quite a bit of time with the people in Portland, because trying to maintain that one major base, which is downtown area, so to speak, and they're losing a lot. In fact, who's the guy that owns pretty well Rydell?
Zidell?
Zidell.
No.
Zidell. He's basically one of the major owners, real estate owners, here in downtown area as far as property. And then he's got in the arts and whatever, but he's major and he's trying like heck, trying to figure out what is he going to do, if you will.
The office buildings, it's about 30% vacancy. That's huge.
Oh yeah, that's huge. And then you start thinking about how did we get there to begin with? When all of a sudden, all due respect to the economic arm, the women folks. The employment of folks in those downtown buildings all of a sudden they changed that whole format piece and allowed folks to go home and just basically stay home and use the computer and do this, that, and the other. But beforehand, those folks were downtown and eating all those restaurants and whatever. They were filled on an ongoing basis, shopping at stores and this, that, and the other. It's not there anymore.
Right.
Not some max. So the key is that might be some thoughts they may have to start trying to figure out how do we get, excuse the French, how do we get the labor force back into downtown Portland? And I think, then they're going to start thinking about, well, okay, fine. Then we got homeless situation, we got the drugs aspect of it, and public safety. So those three factors are going to have to be cleared out. And so again, from the voting public, look at that when you're looking at these resumes for these people. Resumes, if you will. Background. Fair? Okay? Yeah. So why don't we just now, this is just an add-on, so let's just shift again back to this marvelous publication that we got here in the front of us here. Okay, now let's go to Maxine Dexter. Now you were saying something about the fact that this is the 3rd Congressional District. This is the replacement person for Earl Blumenauer. I might add a little something. Earl did quite a job. He's been there for quite some time, but he says he's going to stick around. He's going to help out. He's going to help out. Do you think he's going to stick around? Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, he might be tempted to run for city council because it's not like he has duties. But you never know what he's going to do. He's 74 years old. 74. So you're looking at. Maybe by the end he might be 75. He might figure it's time to go to the La La Land or something like that.
But maybe not. He rides a bicycle, so he's been exercising quite a bit. And, he was kind of like the point person for the drug situation, the marijuana deal. Remember that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the point person, and we do and all the issues that we're having with drugs, we got to come up with some very progressive kinds of resolutions of those situations. So he might be a good point. He might be a good point to run for city council. Therefore, he could sit at the table and take on the whole issue of drugs.
Yeah.
We got a problem. And since he's sitting in the seat right now, I think it would be an opportunity here to address the issue, because now it's my understanding that the President Biden is basically making the point about trying to add a little bit more
downgraded.
Downgrading it.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be downgrading. We should be upgrading, if you will. That's what we're trying to do. I'm not getting into the sheriff's race, right? Not the sheriff's race, but the district attorney's race aspect of it. But the fact of the matter is, drugs is a big issue here.
Oh, yeah.
Got me? And the last thing, and you got the state making one point about trying to upgrade it. He's trying to downgrade it, right? Got me? So anyway, as I was making that point there on that piece there. So Earl, hey, if you're around, we'd love to have you come over here on the Oregon Voters Digest and be a part of the round table we're having here during this discussion, because it's a very important piece, and he could play a major role in addressing the whole issue of the solution to the drug problems that we're having. This is huge and major, and he has a lot of clout, and might be able to maybe get some of those monies from from a national perspective and ease up some of the dollars that we're throwing in there right now here in Oregon.
Yeah, and on the marijuana thing, he's been working that issue
Oh
for
yeah,
a long time.
for a long time. And this thing is built. It's getting out of it's getting out of hand. But we got some problems with that.
Yeah.
And so maybe he has some ideas of solution, if
Yeah.
you will. Got me? Okay. So so Maxine Dexter, she was kind of like new to me. I mean, and really she was a elected legislator.
Right.
Yeah, she was elected legislator. She's a Democrat there. What district was that? That was in district number. She's anyway. She was a legislator, and supposedly she'd been doing some very positive things. But she was kind of like new to me to a certain degree. I tried to get her to come on the show, but unfortunately she wasn't able.
Yeah, well, it's the thing is that she hadn't been down there very long, and anyway, she's on the roll and getting a lot of advertisements, and in fact, just recently they had Eddie Morales and
Right. And Sheila.
And Sheila, they had a joint press conference, and they're talking about the bad press that they're getting, and the fact that Maxine Dexter is
Getting it all, yeah.
getting support from the 312 Pact.
312 pack.
And I saw the 312 listed on as the person paying for the TV ad.
Okay.
Well, the deal is on the story on Channel 8 last night. They had it on there, and they talked about it, and it dedicated about 3 minutes talk about the 312 Pact.
Okay.
And they researched it, and the fact that they are backing people with science backgrounds, and
Right.
she's a doctor, so she has a science background.
okay.
And they want people with a that are progressive. Of course, that usually means anti-freedom and anti-firearms type.
Now, is that an
type stuff.
independent group or is it a government group or
It's a big group, and they're backing a lot of people nationwide.
nationwide?
Nationwide. The
Those ads are not cheap, They're cheap
no,
money.
and the
That's
thing
big
is,
money.
no, and this is you watch her ads. This is big stuff, and they're slamming Sheila and,
Oh, yeah,
and
Sheila.
Eddie. So Eddie's small town mayor, and Sheila hasn't done anything at Multnomah County.
Yeah,
of course, Multnomah County
got a
hasn't been
problem.
doing anything.
Yeah, but we got a problem. That's in the solution situation at this
But
point in time.
Anyway,
But
they held
really-
a dual conference, and they talked about where she's getting this money, and so the Channel 8, they checked up on the 312
Right.
Pact, and this is a big deal, and the fact that they're backing candidates all over the U.S.
all over the U.S.
All this, okay. So it could be other candidates throughout the state. It may be for District 6 or 4 or
Third,
6.
the number 3, yeah, number 3. The third,
But
the third
right now
one,
they're backing her in 3 out of the 7 people that are on the ballot.
Wow. Are there any Republicans running it, by the way, in that arena for the 3rd district? I won't see
I'm not
anybody here.
sure.
We just check it out in the fire. And folks, excuse us now, in all due respect, like I said, this is community television, but we're doing the best we can with what we have. But it's great. We're talking to the employers now. Okay, so this is important that we get you going in the kind of directions that we need to. Okay, let's see where is that at? Okay, we should have had the.
Okay.
It's the 3rd congressional district.
3rd congressional district, Republican. It says there's 3 people running for a 3rd congressional district on a Republican ticket.
Oh, there. Okay, so
One on the 1st and one on the 5th. Of course, on the 5th is the incumbent running for re-election.
Right. Well, we are definitely going to be having another show, in all due respect. This is the primary right now. You got Republicans, Democrats, and so whoever basically gets a majority in any one of those parties, we will then basically, we will really go out and get these folks to come on.
Right.
Both whoever gets elected as a Republican, but Maxine is within this particular situation here, and then naturally, I will say that the Willamette Week is pretty well. They're pro-Democrats in most cases.
Oh, yeah.
They're pro-Democrats, but the fact of the matter is that there she's there. I would have thought that Shashila would have been there, in all due respect, and all of a sudden, up popped this lady. And I tried to reach her. I really did, and I would love to have been able to interview her. We talk about 212, right? We could talk a little bit about that. But in terms of her supporters, one can still access that, right? Isn't she required to list those folks who are basically contributing to her campaign?
List that.
Called the state, right?
Yeah. And another interesting thing about being running for the U.S. House of Representatives, you don't have to live in the district.
That's right.
You know, because I mean,
Yeah,
every 10 years you have a census,
Right.
and then you have a redistricting.
Right.
Why? I mean, the deal is you wouldn't want to have those people, all that money, have to suddenly move.
That's right.
So they can. In fact, one time I ran in a second
Yeah, you
district.
did. Yeah, I remember that. Yes. Okay. Well, look, let's go ahead on then. But anyway, it's interesting. I'm gonna still try to see if we can get her to come on as much as we possibly can. Okay, got me? But that's an interesting race. And then Shashila, that's another issue there that we need to chat a little bit more about her, because she like I say, she came from the county aspect of it, and her background is very interesting. But like you said, the county wasn't doing anything. Got me?
Yeah, she gave up her job to run for this thing.
Yeah, and she started early campaigning.
Yeah, started early.
She started real early, and that was money. She got an organization aspect of it. But boy, I tell you, when I've been seeing some of the ads routine, and I saw some nuances aspect of it. I noticed what she was, the statement. But the one thing that I didn't see was that here was an opportunity for her to jump in on that whole issue with Hamas and whatever, got me? That she could have talked about that in terms of what she felt was a solution to that problem. 'Cause that's having a major impact to this country, to our country aspect of it. And that, to me, would have really set her aside if she was able to respond to that piece in a positive, getting the Palestinians and the Jewish community and Hamas and whatever, and coming up with something. This give her viewpoint from saying how could she respond, because Israel is a major ally of ours, and there's a number of the Jewish community that are here, Jewish Americans, if you will, and you had Palestinian Americans now too.
Well, I just happened to have been watching television the night, and they had when the news come on about that attack,
Right.
and it showed this big party that was going on when the Hamas come in on the parasails, which are powered gliders, and you have two people on them. So you had the pilot sitting behind, and you had a Hamas terrorist was in the front with a AK-47, and it was an air attack. And there was about 6 or 7 of them that come over there, and they haven't shown that, and they need to show that every so often how that started, because they're saying how bad the Israelis were. Well, this was started by Hamas, and this was an air attack. And it's like some of these things that are going on, they're just pushing it off to the side. It's like the 9/11. They showed a couple that jumped off the building, a man and a woman, and they were holding hands.
Well, it's a tough situation to begin with, but no, and I'll respond to you by saying in so many words, we worked very hard to get the United Nations. In fact, it's housed here in the United States, meaning all nations would get together. The whole idea, they would confer about whatever issues that they have, and then vote on the issue. Vote on the issue and come up with a solution. But we've not used that process, and it's my understanding that the process was used. But there was a situation where the minister, I guess, the Monarchan, what's his name?
Well, what you have is forget the name of it, but there's this consul there, and one person has veto. That's it. So it could be Russia that vetoes it or China that vetoes it. One of them.
But the discussion is there. That's what I'm saying. It should not be in any of the other entities. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but the deal is a lot of countries in the United Nations don't like us. They hate us.
Well, but my point is that we're paying the bill to keep the discussion.
We're paying them too much.
Well, but it's still here, and we're still paying. Okay, you know what I mean. So anyway, solve the problem. We got to solve that problem. It's causing a lot of problems, and we're, in all due respect, we're open door policy as you will for immigrants. We know that. That's the other thing too. And we got all kinds of. These are all Americans demonstrating, right? At least they haven't been. People aren't shooting and killing anybody right now. And hopefully we can solve this problem.
Not yet.
You know, gee whiz, that's a toughie. Okay, so where are we now? We've done that piece, and let's go with the 5th congressional district. That's a very interesting piece. We only have about 22 minutes, so we want to really go through and pour these things real quick. But anyway, Janelle Bynum is running. She's the Democrat on the deal, and the woman at one point who at one point in time. Was mayor of Happy Valley, I think that's right, the Happy Valley, and both of them were running for that seat.
Lori Chavez,
and she's a Republican, see.
Yeah.
So those two are going to be running again. That's going to be a very interesting one. But there was interesting stuff that the only thing I saw about it, when I looked at some of her resume here, it said that I saw some ads too. You saw the ads? There was some pretty major ads. She had some pretty big ads of late. You know, she put some ads out there. And that was interesting aspect of it. But
it's going to be interesting to see who wins the Democratic primary, because there's a little bit of mudslinging in that race too. And so
who was that?
Jamie's had some mud in her background, and some stuff's coming out in Janelle's race. So
yeah, the same thing. Yeah, and then however the Willamette Week endorsed her. They endorsed her.
So.
But I'm thinking about the one little thing that was in there that I thought I took notice. You know, there's been a lot of talk about what do we do about the black community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, black Oregonians here, and we've always tried to identify it here in the Portland metropolitan area.
Mm-hmm.
Got me? Its location and whatever in northeast Portland and things of that nature. We spent a lot of times, and we got District 18. We gave them an address. In fact, I worked on that campaign, so to speak, and it was Vic Atiyeh, a Republican governor, that would basically put that piece together for after 10 years, right? But then all of a sudden, we never got anything. All of a sudden, they got rid of it. They just got rid of District 18. But my point is, I guess the point is, economic plays a major role.
Yeah.
And a lot of economics left that area. The whole idea was to bring them back. And when I think about Janelle and I looked at her resume, she owns her and her family owns 4 McDonald's, and there used to be a McDonald's on the corner of Fremont and MLK. Remember that one?
Oh yeah.
There was a McDonald's there on Fremont and MLK, and I was just thinking, well, gee whiz, I mean, you know, she is African American, point blank, and I'm just saying 4 McDonald's. I mean, gee whiz, they look like maybe she would consider putting another McDonald's right there on the corner of Fremont and MLK, and then the gentrification that we all kinds of words about not identifying that area. We're talking about building another situation with monies that Nike supported and this, that, and the other. I look at it from the standpoint of developing the corridor there near the Blazers, if you will. But 18 is not there anymore. It's a different district.
Well, I remember what Bob Williams said. You know, the fact that our citizens, Americans of African ancestry, the blacks, have been spread out so much that there isn't really a black community anymore.
Right. But there was one here at one point.
There was one. Oh, yeah.
District 18. We had District 18. It wasn't Vanport. It was District 18 that we spent some time. Vanport was that was the shipbuilding deal and this, that, and the other. A whole bunch of folks were there. It just so happened that as far as Vanport was concerned, a number of the workers there, if you will, were African Americans. But you had all kinds of folks there. There was a whole piece of it. But anyway, I just want to throw that out to Janelle, and hopefully...
the interesting thing about Vanport, though, is when they had the flood, a lot of people moved out of Giles Lake and Vanport, and then when people needed a place to stay, because there was, next to St. Helens Road was a white area, next to the river was a black area, and when people look for a place to come in, well, what do you need? 1, 2, or 3 bedrooms. Right. And they just reached over, handed something. So in 1948, you have black and white people living next to each other that had never done that before.
That's right.
And the other interesting thing, we went to the recreation center, which they call community centers then, and the kids would sit around and we'd be listening to our fathers and their hopes and dreams for a better world. And the deal is there's three groups. There was the groups that spent the whole war in a defense plant, another group the whole war in the military. And then, like my dad was a real big group who spent part of it in the defense plants before they got drafted. And my dad and all the people that were been in the defense plants and went to the military, they felt safer in a war when somebody was really trying to kill them because there was no OSHA back in those days.
Right.
And I remember towards the end of the war, there was an explosion in some plant, and it showed these guys hanging off the rafters, and they were all burnt black, and there was boots on them and helmets on them, and that's it.
Wow. Well, anyway, we're going to have some discussion with that piece, okay?
Yeah.
You got me? And hopefully we might be able to bring 18 back to the table and let it be a part of the process, because we need to kind of go to the next level, if you will, in a progressive way. And they need an address. The black community needs an address, like any other various districts. It was a legislative district, was District 18. So this would be an opportunity. Now, indirectly, the whole new form of government for Portland has sort of brought it back to the table, because District 2 is where a number of the African Americans still live and reside in. So again, that's another address, right? You got me? Which is a new address. But let's talk about those other issues, like the economics of District 2 now, and
Get some good housing
get some good housing in there, and this, that, and the other. So we will have that opportunity with Janelle and folks like that who are running for office, and other folks for that matter. And then let's jump right up in. How about? I think that's House District 33. Is that 33 now? I'm looking at this other.
I think that's on the west side.
That's on the west side.
31
okay.
and
Okay.
on the west side. Yeah.
What about the Attorney General situation? I thought that was kind of an interesting piece. They got a Democrat and Republican that they've highlighted, that they've endorsed. I'm talking about here in the Willamette Weeks piece aspect of it. But I looked at the Attorney General as the top cop. They should be a part and parcel of the whole deal too. Not just we hear about Multnomah County attorney, district attorney aspect of it, but this person has to be involved, very much involved in the whole issue of public safety, right? And it seems that the Democrat, they've got they basically endorsed this Dan Rayfield, but there was another young lady that was there, Shana Porter. She also ran for that. They did the race talk piece, Donna Maxey's daughter, if you will, and she's the executive director of that piece, and she's running for that seat also too. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and then how many votes she gets, because she's very, very experienced, got quite a resume aspect of it. Okay, let's go on. We got about 15 minutes, so we want to just jump real quick, and then what about the whole issue with I'm thinking about. Let's go back and let's get some other races here. We got Travis Nelson is going. He's still district number 44, so he's running as a Democrat. There's several Democrats and Republicans too. And then the other one was district county commissioner, district number 2. That was an interesting situation. I mean, I'm thinking about. I noticed the endorsement of Multnomah County District number 2 by the Willamette Week, Shannon Singleton, and I in fact even saw the interview there on the tube aspect of it, and Jesse, what's her name? Jesse, oh gee whiz.
Well, I thought Sam Adams.
Sam Adams, Sam automatic.
Shoe-in for the endorsement.
Automatic.
Week.
Oh yes. Now it's my understanding the Oregonian has endorsed him.
Well, I haven't seen the endorsement in the paper.
Yeah, I think he might have gotten the endorsement. But anyway, I didn't know who Shannon was, but I just knew that Jesse Burke. Yeah, Jesse Burke and Sam. It was going to be Sam. Knew it was going to be Sam. Yeah. He had most experience. He had more experience than anybody there that I knew of. I mean, he was part of the Vera Katz era, right? You got me?
Yeah.
And he spent his time there. But boy, I tell you, I didn't know who this young lady was here. And she decided to run for Congress in November. Okay, that's just okay. And running the most qualified and suited. Okay, so you decided to run. Okay, they're trying to. That was Shashila's seat aspect of it. Okay, good. Okay, so anyway, that's going to be an interesting piece now. Now she's going to be running, but I still don't think she's going to be able to make it. I mean that's Willamette Week's position, but it'd be interesting to see what the Oregonian, the Tribune, and others have had. But in all due respect, Shannon's got. I mean,
Surprisingly, I haven't seen much in the way of ads for District 2.
yeah, that's right.
For
Yeah.
anyone, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
surprising. And same with District 1, unless they're doing it all in
Right. In the
door to
community,
door.
they're doing the community newspapers. They got the community newspaper up in North Portland,
Uh-huh.
and they've been doing a lot on both Sam and Jesse. I know that for a fact. But no, that's now the other one is District number 3. Julia Brim Edwards. She's wearing 2 hats. I thought that was interesting. 2 hats. She's still on the school board.
That's my district. I didn't vote for her.
Yeah, is that a common kind of a deal where a person can hold 2 important offices? I mean, Portland Public School is huge.
Well, you could have all the unpaid ones you want. In fact, it wasn't until recently that you could run for more than one of them. There was Dr. Howard Cherry. He was on the Portland Community College Board, Portland School District Board, and the ESD Board, all at the same time. And I served with him on the ESD Board, and then he was in the state legislature too.
Wow, interesting. That'd be interesting. That's interesting. But anyway, you need just as much effort in the public school situation, because that's a problem.
Yeah.
This has got a major problem. They've got a heck of a budget they're gonna have to come up with. They're gonna be laying teachers off and things of that nature. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, they got good sometimes, and they did a lot of things, and they didn't look down the road far enough.
Exactly. Well, they're going to be facing quite a situation there on that budget situation.
Yeah, well, a lot of times the deal is they got this money and they want to spend it on new projects, like they don't take care of, the building's falling down, but they want to put in a new irrigation system or something.
Exactly. And then on District number 4, look like they've got a city councilman, a guy who happens to be an African American kind of a guy, but they've endorsed him in Willamette Week. But there's several folks that are running.
Yeah, he's on the Gresham City Council.
Gresham City Council right now, right? And then you've got the Multnomah County District Attorney. Now that's going to be quite a race. That's going to be quite a race there with Smith and Nathan Vasquez, right? You got me?
Yeah.
Willamette Week endorsed him aspect of it and Smith and whatever. And what about that 212? Is he a part of that deal?
I don't think so. And the 312. No, I don't think so. The main thing they're pushing is Dexter. So.
Dexter. Okay.
Because that gets you right in there with the U.S. Congress. That's a big deal. And
the
if
numbers.
you're a Democrat and you get the 3rd Congressional District, unless you do something real stupid,
right,
you're setting for as long as you want to be there.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're either going to walk out when you want to, or they're going to take you out feet first.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, what about, is there anything else that we might want? Well, District 1, Megan Moore, I guess they endorsed her. But it's going to be very interesting, and the voters need to understand that, and then you got to really use your voters' pamphlets and this, that, and the other, is that these other components are very, very important. I mean, we got the city of Portland, that's a new form of government aspect of it. But all the other elections are very, very important. So people need to really, really pay attention, if you will, this time around. Because moving forward, it's not going to be an easy task if we forget the word economics.
Yeah.
We got to have jobs, and we've got to have folks who are leaders in their own right, but in all due respect, they've got the background to be able to do the job.
Well, one of the things about that new form of government, the mayor doesn't have veto power.
That's the other side of it.
And you can have 7 out of 12 go off the deep end.
Right.
And there's nothing they can do.
Exactly.
If he has veto power, which they could overrule, but the deal is he could go to the citizens and say, look, I vetoed this because 1, 2, 3, and you need to stop them from overriding my veto, because you could get the wrong, Portland get poor and get far to the left. Why this city could become unlivable real quick.
Well, then you think about that makeup for the mayor stuff, like you're saying, because Wheeler's not going to be there anymore, and hopefully he's going to stick around. But you think about it, the front runner, as is projected from the media standpoint, was Rene Gonzalez, so to speak. Rene Gonzalez was the front runner. But then they've got some other folks that are running also for mayor. I think Wilson fella. I mean, we've had him here on the show. Good businessman, sharp, born and raised here, this, that, and the other. But I think about Gonzalez aspect of it. Everybody, he got supported by Nike and all this kind of this and that. But at the same time, it looked good. But then all of a sudden, he got out there too. He got out there and started basically.
Yeah, you got three of them. So you got Rubio and Gonzalez for mayor, and Mapes is just run for a consul job.
Yeah, no, Mapes is he's running also for.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, for mayor.
Oh, okay. Well,
he run for mayor too. Yeah, Mapes. Yeah, Mingus. Yeah, Mingus run from. And so, but I'm thinking about, but Gonzalez is unfortunately. He's kind of like, he was looking as if he was the leading component. And then, boy, I tell you, he started getting into some issues there. The media started carrying it. And he was just kind of like, as if to say he was acting as if he was a mayor, if he was a city council person. He just kind of should have sit back for a minute.
Now, the other thing is, in this city council race, it's going to be ranked voting.
Yeah, right.
We haven't done that before, and I guess that's a real zoo, because they had ranked voting other places, and they've had people come out of left field, so to speak, that
Oh yeah, now if you get your number, if you get the numbers.
Yeah, you don't know who's going to get it, and whammo, had these.
Yeah, it's going to be some interesting things. Yeah. In fact, I want to make, before I forget, is that again, we need to look what's going down, if you will, because it's a very, very important time. But I'm thinking about Gonzalez the other day. He went to a lobbyist deal. He went to a meeting, if you will, I guess, with the NAMC, National Association of Minority Contractors, and he had 5 bodyguards with him.
Really?
5 bodyguards with him. Now that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're going to need to be careful. I mean, the guy is more than qualified, if you will, but sometimes.
Now, what is he doing to have that kind of protection?
Well, I don't know. When he had,
most mayors only had 1 or 2. And one was the driver.
That's right. I mean, so, but then there was the bus incident. Remember that one? The bus incident, and then TriMet got very upset about that piece, and then there was a situation where they burned it. I think it was, they set his father's car or somebody's car in the front of his house afire. When they did that piece, and then the taxes thing, there was a tax thing where he was basically pushing a tax thing. I mean, that's not what he should be doing now. I realize he's a city council person, and the leading component is the mayor, Mayor Wheeler. And Wheeler's the one designating what we're going to be doing, and he should stay in that lane.
Well, the way the economics are, to be pushing the higher taxes, it kind of goes against the grain.
Exactly, totally.
The deal is, the economists say, you're working someplace and you get paid, that dollar moves about 4 times.
Yes.
And the more dollars you have, the further it moves.
Exactly.
And actually, when they
impose taxes,
Jack Kennedy and Ronald Reagan and a few others dropped the tax rate, so there was more money going home that was being spread out further places.
Exactly.
So they had more chances for that money to be taxed.
Exactly.
And the government's ended up with more money.
Exactly.
But you turn around, and now it's pretty touchy for a lot of people, and my wife's noticed how much,
oh, hey man,
you went for hamburgers, you're looking at $50.
Hey, that's right. These are tough times, so you don't play around with the taxes thing. So I'm getting it back to him. I've invited him to come on the show, and then because the guy he's got some good background. I just happened to meet his father when he first went to one end, but boy, I tell you, after I met the father and this, that, and the other, he's been out there, and I'm saying, man, you better back up and get in your lane, because you're not the mayor yet.
Yeah. I talked to one guy. I says, they're so busy out there doing stupid things, shooting themselves in the foot, and then they wonder why they can't tap dance.
Exactly. I'm telling you, since then I've been open. We're open here at the Voters Digest. Anybody running for office has the opportunity to come in, share their way, because as the employer, because we are employers, at this point in time. And by the way, John, I tell you what, you've been in this business for quite some time, and you MSD, you did that piece for a while. And the fact of the matter is that, we talked about this before. I was saying you should consider running in one of the districts there. You thinking about it, maybe looking at it?
Oh yeah, I live in District 3,
Okay.
and I'm going to give it a shot. And
Give it a shot. Okay.
there's some things I'd like to get done. And one thing, I was with the city for 32 years, 8 months, and one thing I really hate is contracting out, because
right.
the people, they'd cut us back, and then the people doing the contracting, supposed to police the contracts, weren't policing the contracts. He says, well, you can do it. What are you talking about? You cut us back, now you want us to do what you're supposed to oversee? And I says, it's real simple. I says, you need to hold back more money, because usually the like at the irrigation on Westmoreland Park, the amount of money they cut back, the guy looks at the end. He says they could do the work for the money, or they could walk away because it was a wash. And in talking from the people that had that park district, it was horrible, because you turn the water on and you had a leak and you fix that one. It's kind of like having a leaky electrical system.
Right.
You just you're chasing the spaghetti on your plate with one chopstick. But yeah, so it's
So good. You thinking about doing it then, huh?
yeah, and District 3.
3. See.
And I have written a thing called GS0 and GS0 Plus, and government employees, or GS is for general service. So state and local would be like an administrative apprentice, an administrative apprentice plus, and a maintenance apprentice and maintenance apprentice plus. And what that means is they would start at the prevailing minimum wage, and somebody says, scream about that. Well, it's over $16 an hour. That's about $33,000 a year. So at 6 months, if they have a driver's license and a high school diploma or GED or higher, they'd get a 50-cent an hour raise, which is $1,040 a month. And then they can climb, because if you're working for a contractor, that's a dead-end job. 50 years, you're still doing the same thing. At or above minimum wage. But if you could get in, then you could walk up the ladder. Because I ended up as a supervisor, and the turf manager, he started as a custodian, which was a lower level than I started, and got on the mowers and got up there. And several of those people climbed up so that we could attract our poorer citizens, get themselves a career, because that's what I told the temporaries and the seasonals. It's a career.
Right. I'm gonna break you off at that point in time. We're getting ready to give it up. But anyway, folks, I hope we had a good show today, and hopefully you watch it, share it with your friends and whatever. But again, focus on that voter pamphlet. Make sure you check that voters pamphlet. Pick up the Oregonian, pick up the Willamette Week, and pick up the Portland Tribune. Those are a few papers that we have that basically gives you sort of another outlook, and compare the notes. We'll see you here next week, and do enjoy. And again, like I said, share this with your audience and some of your neighbors. Okay. Really appreciate you being here, and we hope to see you next week. Have a good one. John, congratulations. You're going good. I'm thinking about running now, too. Okay. Have a good one, folks.
So to speak, I've walked off the pier. I've got to get in my boat.
I heard that.